Stitchy friends, welcome to the Starlight Stitching Co. Flosstube video number 31. Today is February 16th. It's a little snowy outside and cold again. We were enjoying some spring-ish weather, not for a couple of weeks, I guess. It was nice to have the windows open and the fresh air, but now it's cold and white outside again. So hopefully it warms up again soon. So welcome to my little corner of the internet if you are new, and welcome back if you're returning. This is where I share whatever crafty goodness I've been up to in the last couple of weeks. So today I have some finishes, some whips, a little bit of haul, a shop update. I want to go ahead and share the items in video form that were released in the shop yesterday. I also have a little bit of knitting and a little bit of crochet. So lots of crafty fun to get into. So how about we get started with some finishes? So I've mentioned in my last couple of videos that I want to empty my finished but not fully finished box. I want to get all of those items finished up and on display. And that's what I've been doing. So this first piece, this is a Stitching with the Housewives chart. I don't recall the name, but I'll make sure to link it below. And I stitched this in DMC on a 14 count chalkboard black Aida. And then I just finished it on a mat board with some scrap of my white fleece that I use in the bags that I make. I save the scraps and use them for my finishing. So I have a piece of fleece underneath the black Aida, and then there's a board here with just a red and white plaid. The finishing board is one of the basics from Chantel's 141 Design Company. I'll make sure to link that below. And I just painted it red and dry brushed on some black and then dry brushed on some brighter red and sprayed it with a clear sealer. So a super simple finish. Here's what the back looks like. I did paint the back. And so now this little shelf sitter is ready to decorate up a spot, even though it is technically after Valentine's Day. I still got them done in February, okay? So we're doing good. Next up is a little pillow. So this was a free pattern from Fat Quarter Shop a couple of years ago. I will try to find it and link it below. And I stitched it in some DMC floss. I don't know what colors. I don't even know. I might have shared it on my Instagram, maybe not. Either way, it was stitched on, I think that's a 16 count white Aida. And I just finished it into a cute little pillow with some hot pink quilting fabric on the back and some pale pink pom-pom trim around the edges. And I hot glued the pom-pom trim on. I had tried sewing some where you sew the pom-poms down first and then sandwich it between the layers. It did not end well. So this pillow, I decided to just glue it on. And then next I have a flat finish. So this is Country Cottage Needleworks sampler of the month for February. So it's like a little band sampler. And I finished stitching this a couple of years ago. So not last year, maybe the year before. I used DMC colors. And I just finished it on a mat board with some fleece, with some pink lace trim that I've had in my stash forever. And then on another piece of mat board with that same hot pink fabric, a little bitty pink bow with some very old Stampin' Up! Ribbon and a little button. So now this is ready to display on an easel. So those are my 3 fully finished items. Now let's go on to some whips. Which whip to start with first? Okay, so I guess I will show my first whip that I've been focusing on the most this week has been my February Birdhouse. So I release little free Birdhouse cross stitch patterns. The goal is every month. I'm a little bit behind, so if you think you've missed January, you haven't. I haven't released January yet. I thought it would be a good idea to go ahead and get February done before the end of February. So January, I'll probably show in the shop update what that will look like, because I plan on releasing that today, maybe Monday, we'll see. But the first one is the February Birdhouse. I will insert an image here of what that looks like. Now that's a that is a digitally stitched image, and I am working on it right now. So here's what I have. On these little charts like this, I love to color complete. So I stitch, you know, all of the dark brown and then all of the light brown. And I'm just going one color at a time, and I'm currently working on this scalloped border underneath the base for the birdhouse. And I just love all the tiny little hearts that I squeezed into this design. I had so much fun working on this. So that is the February Birdhouse. Let's see, where am I going to set everything? I don't want to bury something I haven't talked about yet. So the next one, this is a Dimensions Winter Cardinals. This is a kit. It's my oldest whip. I shared about it last time. And I have done a little bit more stitching on this. So you probably can't tell, but I have done some of the fill-in over here. It's kind of been a bit of a scavenger hunt to find the areas that still need filled in over there. And then, I should really have a project board. I've also continued the snowy area over here. So still a little ways to go to get it finished before the end of winter, but I am trying. Next, I have my, let me get this hanging thread out of the way. There we go. I have my Valentine's Day Quaker from Primrose Cottage. Such a cute design. I had hoped to have this done and fully finished by Valentine's Day, but that just did not happen. But here's where I'm at. So, probably getting close to the halfway point on this. It's not a super big stitch, so I feel like I should have it done by now. But I don't. So I will continue working on that. Maybe I can get it done before the end of February. We'll see. The next project I've been working on is the From the Heart Needle Art by Wendy March Quaker. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the Valentine's Day Quaker. I'm stitching this on a 28 count white opalescent linen. And the March Quaker, trying to move the thread. I am stitching on a 20 count white Aida, and I am just pulling my own colors, not necessarily using the called for colors. So for this one, I am using Classic Colorworks English Ivy, Classic Colorworks Tartan Plaid, and Classic Colorworks 4-Leaf Clover. Hold it right side up. I'm sorry if you can hear the dog barking. I don't know what she's fussing about. Oops, I almost almost forgot to stick those in there. Okay, the next whip that I worked on, I have been sharing quite a bit on Instagram, and that is Let Love Rain by Theresa Kogut. This was my birthday start last year. I'm stitching this on a 32 count raw silver linen by Zweigart. And here's where I'm at. So I've started working on this next row of motifs. I have the berry bowl complete and this lovely moth. There's a little bit of back stitching that I need to do on that I haven't done yet. I'll do all the back stitching at the end. Then this urn with the flowers and the bird on top. That bird, oh my goodness. Okay, so I can't show you the chart, but it's obviously such a large chart that it's split up on multiple pages. Well, just this bird here was split up on 3 different pages. Like the page line was right here and right here. And there's no overlap lines on the chart. So I think I stitched and unpicked that bird at least 3 times before I think I got it close to right. And I still didn't get it right. I ended up fudging it. But that was so frustrating. So it might have been helpful to like make a working copy and tape them all together for those little portions. Either way, that is done, and I finished this little moth, and now I'm working on this next pot of flowers here. And then I'll have this little bit of border over here. So I'm super excited to see this coming together. I'm using my own color conversion from Color and Cotton. Beautiful, beautiful overdyed threads. And I am switching up some of the colors in the chart as I see fit. That has been such a joy to work on. That's my Sunday stitch. And I got to spend quite a bit of time on it last Saturday, actually, because Sunday I ended up stitching on the February Birdhouse. Next up is one of my heifer pulls. So if you aren't familiar, heifer is similar to like a whip go or a bingo, where somebody calls 2 numbers and that correlates with whatever you've put on a chart. The heifer concept is from the Floss Boss and Cousins, and this is Oh Holy Night Nativity by Stony Creek Collection. I am stitching this on a 32 count Crystal Dwarf linen, and I've made quite a bit of progress. I'm focusing just on Mary. So in these bigger detailed projects, like I've mentioned in the past, I like to pick one feature and work on that until that particular feature is completed, and then I will move on. I had talked about last time possibly gridding this fabric with the Easy Count guideline, but I tried. I did try. But I was having a hard time counting over the linen threads, because counting on linen is a little bit harder than counting on Aida. And I was afraid that I was going to skip just one little strand and my grid would be off, and that would ruin everything. So instead of gridding it, I am just going to like keep my stitches close together and complete what's like work from the middle out, and not do color completion. I don't want to have to count across too many stitches. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm probably not saying it very well, but I am excited to see that done. I don't know if the whole concept of the whip go or heifer is going to work out for me. This is my first time trying it, but I feel like it's putting a little bit of pressure unnecessary pressure on me, because I have a couple of other Valentine's things that I had hoped to have done by Valentine's Day, and I haven't gotten to put a single stitch on those. And there are also whips that I want to get done. So yeah, I don't know. And this particular project is one that you can't really just pick up and dive in and start stitching, because it is a more complex project. You have to find your place. The pattern is very detailed. The pattern is also all black and white, which makes it a little bit harder to keep track of where you're at. So I don't know. I've only stitched on this particular one 2 days, and that's all I've done for my heifer for February. So it may not work out. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to admit defeat quite yet, but maybe at this particular point the whip-go or heifer concept just isn't for me. Because I have a lot of other whips I want to work on, and I want to work on them in the season. But if I have an assignment that is working on something else, I'll continue thinking about that instead of bothering you with it. Okay, so how about we move on to crochet? So I shared last time that I am using some yarn from my stash that has been taking up space in my closet for quite a while. I had purchased it for something else, and at this point I don't even remember what it was. And I have a large quantity of this super bulky yarn. So I am going ahead and using the Spice of Life pattern and crocheting a simple throw blanket. And here's where I'm at. So it's basically like a crochet sampler blanket where you're using different stitches. And I was trying to do a row a day. Honestly, I haven't done a row every day. It's like when I pick it up, I'll do a couple of rows. But it's going pretty quickly. And I think it'll be a nice heavyweight throw when I'm finished with it. Crochet. We're on crochet, not knitting yet. So in this bag, I have dropped my crochet hook. This is the Magnus cardigan, and it is designed by Meganmakesdo, and I purchased this as a kit from Line Brand. And I haven't made a ton of progress. Yeah, here's my stitch marker from where I shared last time. I've added a couple of rows. So here is where I'm at now. It is so pretty. I should actually look at the pattern and see how many more rows I need to do. Especially since pulling out that sunset yarn is not easy. It kind of like felts itself together. So undoing those stitches is very difficult. And then we're on to knitting. So I don't have a cover photo to share with you, but if you know, you know. So Tiger Lily Designs is hosting a beanie along. And last video I shared some yarn that I had gotten from Arcane Fiberworks that it wasn't quite like the image. So what I had originally purchased it for, it wasn't going to work. So I figured I would go ahead and use it for the beanie along. Now mine doesn't follow the pattern exactly because this is a worsted weight yarn and not a DK weight yarn, so my stitches are bigger. But that's the great thing about Carrie's pattern, is that you do the math to make it work with whatever yarn you're using. So here is where I'm at. I have about a little over an inch of ribbing. This is my first time doing ribbing, and we'll say second time is the charm, because I had made a mistake and had to rip the whole thing out and start over yesterday. So that's why there's only about an inch of ribbing, but it's so hard to show you on these needles. It's so pretty. I like how it's working up, and it's just been fun to work on. Okay, so that is all of my whips. Next up, I guess we should do haul. So I have a bit of haul. First up, I'll share, I was ordering some shop fabric, some business fabric from Fat Quarter Shop, and what I needed was just under the level of free shipping by like $15. And so I figured, well, I might as well order a piece of cross stitch fabric to ship along with it so I can get the free shipping, because otherwise I'd be paying it anyway. So this is Fiber on a Whim, 20 count Aida. It's a fat quarter, and it's the color Buttermilk. Now online, the buttermilk looked very yellow, and even in the video it looks very yellow. But in person, it's definitely a greeny yellow. So let's see if we can get something. Maybe that's a little bit better. It's an interesting color. It's not quite what I was expecting. And now I lost my page in my notebook. Good going. There we go. Found it. It has important notes on it that I need. So I'm not sure what I'll use it for. It's definitely not going to work out for the design I had in mind. But that's in my haul. It's so hard to get photos of hand-dyed things right online, and maybe I'm just being a little too picky. I don't know. Okay, so I'm sure lots of people have seen this chart. If I can get it out of the package. This is My Blue Heaven from Summer House Stitchworks. And I know that this was given as a retreat piece at a Keepsakes cross stitch retreat. And now this pattern is available only from Keepsakes. So when I saw that they had this available on their website, I hurried up and ordered it because it is gorgeous. I love blue, and that lacy blue border is just amazing. So I think I'm going to save this for my, excuse me, my birthday start for this year. I'll have to find some fabric that I want to stitch it on. I know the model was stitched on 40 count, so I'll probably try to find some Fiber on a Whim 20 count Aida. Which that should work. I don't see any over one stitching in this, so I think that'll be okay. Yeah, so I'll try to find some 40 count Aida from Fiber on a Whim. That's maybe a whitish, bluish tint. And I might even see if I can get a color conversion from Victoria Clayton Silks to make it extra special. I mean, it is a birthday start after all. We shall see. Okay, my next piece of haul was a bit of a splurge. Tiger Lily Designs has a Keeper Club box that I'm sure most of you are familiar with. And I don't regularly subscribe. That's just not in my budget. And I mean, I make project bags, so I could make myself a bag. But she listed that she had some extra ones from the January Keeper Club available, and I went ahead and splurged and got one. So this beautiful project keeper. It's blue, it has dragonflies. I'm sure you've seen them on lots of other floss tubes, so I won't go into too much detail. All the way. So here is what the inside looks like. 2 pockets. Her project keepers are very nice. And there is some Atom Heart floss hearts in a pretty blue, shimmery, sparkly color. And then a very nicely made scissor case with some beautiful dragonfly scissors. There's also a dragonfly bracelet, which I have simply tied on one of the zipper pulls. And there were also some sea salt caramels, some handmade sea salt caramels. Those are gone. They were delicious. Trying to get the floss hearts to lay flat. That's probably the only downside of those, is they're a little bulky. So now I just need to think of a project to stick in this. Maybe I will move one of the projects that's in my sampler tote. This has 3 samplers in it, okay? We have Love Rain, Rejoice Evermore, and At Home by Brenda DeRay. Rejoice Evermore and At Home I haven't had a chance to work on in quite some time, but maybe I can move one of those into this keeper to give them a little bit more breathing room in there. That might be just a little bit too much for one of those totes. So that is all that I have for haul this time. The splurging for the Keeper Club box pretty much busted my entire February crafty budget. So it's all good. It's all good. And then there's all the beautiful market releases that are coming out right now. Ah, so good. So, a quick shop update. These are the items that were released in the shop yesterday. Some of them may not be available anymore, but I wanted to go ahead and show them anyway. This is a Blue Butterflies cross-stitch clutch. So like all the clutches, they have the vinyl front pocket and then the separate fabric pocket. Nice big thread bed on the inside. There's always felt to store some extra needles. And here we have a Stitching with the Housewives fabric. It's a blue plaid and stripes with a little star charm. I'm about to lose it. On the inside, there's another large vinyl pocket, thread bed, felt for needle, ribbon loop to clip a floss ring or scissors to, and then there's a pocket behind each of these. I really like these for storing a lot of small charts. And then I have the Stardust version. I only have 4 of these available. Cute little flamingo charm because the fabric was designed by Flamingo Toes, so I thought that would be adorable. Here's the inside of that one. I feel like I'm very off-centered in this video, so sorry about that. And probably the most popular one, so I don't know if there are any of these available still or not, but this is the lovely Sweet Pink Roses cross-stitch tote. Large vinyl pocket on the front. Large thread bed inside, felt and ribbon loop as usual. This smaller pocket down here has the vinyl pocket and then the hidden inside pocket, and then the larger pocket over here, and then behind each of these sides is also a pocket. So great storage. Oh, I forgot to share. If you've been watching before, you already know this, but in all of the handbags on this side, there is the large vinyl pocket and then the hidden inside pocket. So basically, I always like to be able to keep my scissors separate from my floss so they don't get tangled. That's why the hidden pocket on everything. So those were my shop release items for February 15th. How is it already February 15th? How is February already half over? I haven't figured that out yet. I also want to share what the January Birdhouse looks like. So here is a digitally stitched image for the January Birdhouse. And I'm excited to get the February Birdhouse done so I can start stitching this one. It is absolutely adorable. I love it. I hope you enjoy it. And I will have that available as a freebie in the shop very soon. So there's going to be lots of model stitching going on in my near future. Okay, so what next? What do I want to share next? I do want to share some fabric that I recently picked up. And there goes everything. So I went to a local quilt shop. It's half a mile from me. I walked there the other day. The shop name is Plain Janes and Company. Plain Janes and Company. I'll make sure to link them in the description box below. They have their own website and they are also on Etsy and they sell quilting fabric and patterns. And I picked up 2 lovely stacks of fabric that will become cross-stitch totes soon. So there's a reds. Wouldn't this be perfect for storing like a red sampler? And some blues. Very nice. I have to share this. This is going to be the cover fabric for the tote. Isn't this gorgeous? I think it's a laundry basket quilts pattern or print. Where is the selvage? Sunrise Side by Minnick & Simpson. It's Minnick & Simpson. Either way, it is stunning. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So let me fold this back up all nice and neat. But I wanted to share that local shop with you because they have a gorgeous selection of fabrics available. And I will definitely be supporting them much more in the future with my fabric purchases. So those will be coming soon. And I think we're up to the giveaway, right? No, not the giveaway yet. I actually made some notes this time. I want to share about the floss tubes that I've watched in the last couple of weeks. So every morning when I am sewing away on the clutches or the totes or the handbags, I am usually listening to a floss tube video. And these are the ones that I have watched in the last couple weeks that I probably haven't mentioned. Some of them I've just recently found, even though they've had floss tubes for a long time. So the Fanciful Flamingo. She's a hoot to listen to. I finished watching her video this morning. Sherry Moss, Stitch Etc. I did not know that they had a floss tube. I knew that they had a shop and I hope to visit their shop someday, but I did not know that they have a floss tube. So I recently watched that. Chantel of 141 Design Company. I love her vlogs and her shop talks that she has every week. It's so much fun. Mama Loves You GB. Textilly, the Proper Stitcher. She has some gorgeous Nashville Needlework Market designs coming out. The one with the willow tree and the stars and the house. I forget what it's called, but I've already pre-ordered it, so it's on its way. Sarah's Stitchery, Georgia Girl Stitching. Hobbies of Holly, she's a new floss tuber. Unfinished Stitches, and Mrs. Smith Stitches. And I will make sure to link all of them below in case you are on the lookout for a new floss tube to watch. So now we're on to the giveaway from last week. So the giveaway, sorry, I managed to yank that little ring off. I got it back on. Is there anything else in there? Okay. The giveaway items are Rejoice Evermore, because I loved this chart so much I bought it twice. Trick or Treat Sampler by Shannon Christine Designs with the DMC floss, all kitted up. Some Halloween charms from Chantel's 141 Design Company. Merry Snowman by Scissortail Designs. And Little House Needleworks Winter Petites. All tucked in this beautiful project bag from Sherry So Sweet. And the winner of that prize pack is Book Fairy 62. I've inserted your comment here. So if you could, please contact me at the email address listed in the description box below and give me your physical mailing address so I can get that shipped out to you in no time. So I think that's all I have to share with you today. I hope you have a wonderful couple of weeks and get plenty of stitching and crafting and knitting time if you're learning to knit along with us. Yeah, that's it. So have a fabulous weekend and thank you so much for watching. Bye.